This is probably the closest thing to a filler episode I've seen so far. I mean, there's some little tidbits here and there that are important. We see the training mode lightsabers, which is actually a nice little touch. We see the fact that Ezra is still thinking probably in the wrong direction. We see this in two ways. First, he mentions how he's trying to connect with them, but it's mostly as a way of controlling them, which is a dark side mentality, asserting your will over reality. And, of course, his statement, you win by killing an Inquisitor. Yeah. And then, towards the end, he once again can't reach out to these things, and there's this nice little Force tidbit going on there in Vader's theme, and yeah. And then in between is a whole lot of filler, which was actually really boring. I have effectively no notes for the middle part of the episode. I have a couple. I feel bad for AP5. Are they always going to be this late? And I do like how Ezra and Zeb have kind of bonded over the course of the two seasons. The two kids kind of learning to have a grudging respect for each other and becoming friends. I like that. But all I have to say elsewise, until we get to the Hera scene, which I'll talk about in just a second, is, oh god, it's head crabs! Seriously, these things look a lot like the mother head crab. I'm just saying. So then they fight, and they fight, and they fight, and they fight, and that's why I call this filler. There's like 18 minutes in the middle of this episode that if you chopped it out and removed it, nothing would change. It is the most demonstrable example of thread of the week I've seen so far, too. Most of the other times when stuff like this happens, it's usually woven into the narrative sufficiently that it matters. Here, the closest it matters for the narrative is, this is where their new base is, and here's the threat, which they solve by the end of the episode, so okay. But the scene I really like is right at the end, and this is the only thing I really have to talk about. It's the scene between Hera and Kanan. Now, it should have been substantially longer, but, I mean, we couldn't take away time from all the horrible death crab spider things, right? Hera wants to be there with Kanan when facing this horrible death doom. Of course she does. It's the exact same reason why he and she have both been with each other for all that they've been facing against the Empire. But the implication and idea is that this is different, that going up against the Inquisitor and Vader is simply on a different platform entirely. I don't want to say it's a tier up, but it kind of is at the same time. This is something that he specifically is trying to do for her sake, in addition to for the sake of their people, for their alliance, for their rebel cell. I mean, they've got a carrier now, and a base, and they've got ways to coordinate in conjunction with each other, along with lots of Imperial data thanks to AP5. Things are looking up for the first time in a long time. That means the next episode's going to go pretty badly, and as it happens, I know which the next episode is. But I wanted to say one other thing before we cut off here. I kind of have a reputation for being anti-romance in fiction, and as I've said so many times, that's not actually true. I am anti-bad romance in fiction, because I feel that most of the time it's not written well, or performed well, or done well at all. Here, I just want to say that I actually do like Kanan and Hera's relationship. It feels a lot closer to an actual relationship than it's usually presented as, and it doesn't get a lot of screen time, but every time it does, it's some significant point between the two, how connected they are, or how much they matter to each other. Sometimes it can even be thrown in just as a little light-hearted note, like how much he wanted to impress her dad back in a few episodes ago. Just little stuff like that. It's good. That's all I wanted to say about that. Next episode's a double one. We'll see what I have to say about that one. I'll see you there, guys.